Right, here we go. That's all running. Make sure my phone's turned down. Okay. Monica, if you want to be able to switch the video and just say yes to being a panelist, it's entirely up to you. But it'd be good to see you. Same with you, Lisa. Okay. All right. So
Hi, how are you?
good. If you want to join us on the better switch the video on, Monica, Lisa, just say yes to being a panelist because you move from the attendee room to the panelist room. Okay. That's entirely optional, but we get a better connection if we're actually can see each other. Right. Right. Let's get this up here. Just getting this organized. Okay. Lisa, the camera icon is to the bottom left there. Okay. Switch the camera on if you want to. There you go. Something's coming up.
Hi.
Yep, cool. Sounds good. Okay. If you just want to put yourself on mute, Lisa, while we just switch on when we're actually chatting. Otherwise, we can get some background noise. Thank you. Okay, guys, let's get underway. So welcome to Getting into the Flow in Your Life. I'm Nicolas David of the Center for Conscious Ascension, and again, this webinar is all about using divine healing, clear the blockages to get into the flow of your life. All right, so it's a little spiel here. If I can just get this thing to work properly. And read out the little formal bit, and then we can relax. Okay. So a lot of people will watch this later in the replay. So are you here to help the world? But no matter how hard you try, you still feel left behind in life. Who feels that? Hands up. Who feels that? Yep. Okay, so this is basically a free live group healing webinar to gracefully accelerate the healing of abandonment and emotional blocks, so you can feel more connected, stable, and secure with the flow of life. It's good for beginners and experienced spiritual seekers as well. Okay, so what I'd like to do is find out what's brought you guys here. That gives me a feel for things, okay? And you guys in the attendee room can just switch your microphone on, put your hand up and switch your mic on and just tell me, or put it in the chat and I'll read it out. Just gives me a good feel for the room, okay? So who wants to share first? So it's completely voluntary, but okay, the more I know, the better. Judith, what brought
Good
you
morning,
here?
everyone. So when I was looking at your page, what brought me was I think you have a level one and a level two
Yep.
for the energy healing. And one of the things for the level two that you said, if you believe you're better than everybody else, like the ego-driven thing, you might take level one. And so
Well,
I
that's on the Lightbody training, yeah.
yeah. So I had to sit in that because one of the things that I'm working on when I go into rooms, I'm like, am I the most conscious one here? And I'm sitting there going, I'm not better than anybody else, but I'm the one that's most consciously here. What's my responsibility? And it's so much weight on my shoulders. But everywhere that I'm constantly in, I'm like, why am I always the one that knows more? But that's how I grew up in a household that I was more consciously awake than everybody else. But when I saw that note of the ego, it stopped me and I'm like, okay, I need to really sit in this. How do I belong when I don't feel like I belong? Uh, and then I'm too much for everybody. And so it's like this awkward space that I'm in the middle of trying to figure out how do I live with all this.
It's one of the side effects of being a light worker, Judith, because most light workers do come in more conscious, as you've noticed. Um, we make up a couple of percent of the world's population. There's 200 or 300 million of us who volunteer to come here to learn how it is to be human and all its lovely, um, all of the experiences we have down here, but then to bring our higher consciousness, our higher frequency experience of the soul to awaken everyone else. So that's the reason. So you're always going to feel different. You're never going to fit in because you're not meant to. You're meant to change the world from the presence of your frequency and your truth. That's why you were born. Okay. So you're not doing anything wrong. You can just feel the difference, which is normal. Okay. The reason I have that comment on the Lotus Vision Lightbody training page is because people think that they get attracted by the Christ consciousness frequencies of that page and think if I do this course, I can bypass, unconsciously think I can bypass all my emotional work and become very conscious. And I say that because the ego will feel more superior, and if it does, it means it's time to do some deeper emotional healing before you even think about doing something advanced like a light body surgical training. Because a lot of people used to waste my time wanting to have interviews, and that way I just polarize them out. So only those who are ready actually get through, and everyone else has to go and do the real work first. So it seems to work so far. So, okay, who wants to check in next? Sakina, welcome.
Hi, Nicholas. Thank you so much, and hi, everyone else. Yeah, just I was drawn to this particular one because this has been a theme for the last 20 years. I thought I was getting out of it, but I'm still got a lot of emotional blocks, and the feeling of abandonment from God is definitely quite strong. Plus, a lot of other stuff. So I feel there's a lot of self-sabotage. Like I hate myself so much. That's why my matrix, whatever I'm experiencing, it's just block after block. And yeah, so I'm just grateful to be here. And I got the email and I saw the email on time. Thank you.
Okay. Did you get my other email though as well that I sent you?
I may have missed it, so I will check that.
Yeah, there's another one. I think last sent you on Saturday.
Okay, I'll have a look for that
Yeah,
one.
it's a very important one you were waiting for.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, who else wants to check in? Lisa, do you want to check in? Yep. And you're brave enough to show yourself. We might as well hear from you as well.
Hi everybody. Yeah, I'm actually doing energy work, have been for about 8 or 9 years, and I was actually guided to do a light body activation. And that was how I found you. So I was searching and it came up. You came up.
Okay.
So that's why I'm here.
All right. And where are you based, Lisa?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. All right.
And where are you?
I'm just outside London, England.
Okay.
Yeah. And Judith, where are you?
I live in Arkansas, but I'm in Denver right now.
Okay. Sakina, do you want to tell everyone where you are?
Yeah, I'm in London, England.
Okay. Anyone else in the attendee room want to say hi? Just switch your mic on the bottom left, or you can just put a message in the chat to sort of say why you're here. Just give you a chance, only if you want to. It's purely optional. Monica, switch on the mic on the, there you go. Try that. It's on now. Can't quite hear you yet. You are not hearing anything, even though the mic's switched on. Or do you want to come to the panelist room? I'm not quite sure. Try now. Microphones, just try now. Okay. Try the mic. Oh, there you go. Just go into the main room. Try now, Monica.
Hi, how are you? Can you
Yeah, I
hear
can
me
hear you
now?
now. Yeah. What brought you here?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hi, Nicolas again.
Hi.
Um, I'm feeling the same as you. Whatever all Judith says, it was like, yeah, the same, feeling the same, and also feeling the call to do. I mean, months ago, I say that I was calling to do the Lightbody activation, and I feel like a good expanse on my skin. So yeah, I'm ready to do it. So tell me what to do, and I say yes, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. We'll get into this. Okay. Let's think. Anyone else? Or we're ready? I'll keep going. Just put your hands up. Electronic hands in the bottom. Just click on raise hand. Otherwise, we'll get into it. No, we'll keep going then. Okay. So, how do we get into the flow? All right, let's talk about that. Seems a very challenging issue. I've had very challenging issues with that for my whole life. So, just in case you didn't know, you are here. You're in your Earth suit in the third dimension, down here. All right, far, far away from Source. All that is God, Great Spirit, whatever you want to call it, on the 12th dimension. All right, and what happens when we get this far from Source is that because of our what's in our ego is our ego personality. It's our protective mechanism, protect us from being hurt. And it's created by our soul contract by the sound of our name. And it's a filter that creates a certain subjective life experience for us in this third dimension. This is where we're densified light, where we have this illusion that we're in a physical body and that we're very separate, we're very cut off from God in the spiritual sense. Someone else wants the energy, at least I hear by the looks of it. So to get into the flow, we need to open up a connection to Source, high consciousness. Okay. And coming into this reality, we are playing what's called a game of separation from spirit. What happened was that Source, a long time ago, had an outbreath of itself because it needed to know who it was. And it spent a lot of time thinking about it. But actually, it realized it needed to experience all the different aspects of itself. So it had parts of itself. It had an outbreath of lots of parts of itself, which descended through the 11th dimension, 10th dimension, all the way down to the 5th dimension, which is where our higher self is, the 4th dimension, which is the astral plane, and the 3rd dimension down here. Okay? If it got to the point that we were in the 3rd dimension, and the sparks of Source, called our soul, got so far away that our personality constructs created by the soul forgot this is where we come from, because we got so removed and we have this barrier to awakening called the interference zone. And so in order to get into the flow, we need to reconnect to higher consciousness. Okay? So Kijela, if you want to join us with the video, what you need to do is just say yes to me. I'm just not going to do it for me. I'll just hang out there. It's okay. we need to open to higher consciousness. Because how many of you seen the Matrix? Put your hand up. Okay, so this is the Matrix down here. This is a artificial construct. It's a projection of consciousness. It's a three-dimensional projection of consciousness. So no abundance, no flow can come from this reality, because it has to come from up here, higher dimensions. Okay? But everyone down here keeps trying to pull energy from one another because there's not enough flow, as most people are concerned. So what we're going to do is find out, how do we open to higher consciousness? How do we bring the flow? Because there's infinite flow up here. And if we can open up a pathway, we can then bring the flow in and create whatever we desire. That's in divine order of our soul. Okay, it is not in resonance with what the soul wants to do. It can never appear. Okay, despite what some like, for example, the movie The Secret says you can manifest anything you like, but it's only if it's in resonance. Okay, so here's what we do to do that. What we need to do is peel our ego onion. All the lovely programs that we have that challenge us every day, we could peel our ego onion layer by layer to get back to the pure consciousness that we are. Which is what we do with divine healing. Remember in the Bible, Christ said, "You too will better do what I do." And the reason he said that is because he spent 12 years between about 20 or early 20s until his 30s, peeling his ego onion by visiting masters all over the world to become very clear, to come back to the pure essence of who he was, which is a dissolved ego, and then the pure consciousness coming through him from higher self, which is why he could do the miracles that he did. So our job is to do something very similar if we really want to be in the flow. You don't have to be able to walk on water or stuff that he did, or just manifest fishes out of thin air. It'd be nice to do that though, save shopping. But at least get some connection to higher consciousness. Okay, so how do you do that? Is how. We need to bring consciousness to the mud of life, to all the dark, mucky stuff, our karma, and then transmute it and grow it into lotuses. We look at all the aspects of our life as one whole being. It's not good and evil polarity consciousness. This is more the Buddhist model where everything is part of God. Mud is the emotional separation patterns that challenge us. Our job is to dive into the mud and transmute it into the lotuses. Okay? You just accept it for what it is. And then good stuff grows out of that. So, one of the hazards of coming into a human body is that we have to deal with the three primary separation programs. And they are, when you're born, some combination of these three trigger. We feel abandoned by God because we're in the womb, connected to all that is. Then suddenly we're popped out into this cold, bright, noisy world. So we can feel abandoned. We can feel unworthy to be loved by God. We can feel mistrust of God. So that's how our ego construct starts to form. And this little workshop is about healing this particular one, abandonment by God. And so we actually have 3 webinars. Well, 3 of our webinars are based upon working on these 3 archetypes. Okay? So if you can clear all those in you, or a vast majority in you, then you can actually come into the flow. Because if you feel separate from God and don't feel one with all that is, everything, then it's not possible to draw anything to you because you feel it's separate from you. But if you feel one with it, then you can attract it to you. So what does our ego do? Here's what it does. it's useful to know its strategies, and they are the following. When we feel abandonment, mistrust, or unworthiness relative to God, often we go into avoidance initially. You don't want to feel that painful program. Ego hates pain. Okay, or as we wake up spiritually, we may judge the program, feel bad about it. That's what a lot of people do who come onto the spiritual path. But there's a third way, which is about starting to resonate and own the program and bring feeling consciousness into the body and finding the origin. When we do that, what we're doing is our soul can feel that sense of separation, but the act of bringing full consciousness to it transmutes it, and then you become free of that layer of the ego onion. So, this is what's required for healing. The first thing that's required is the willingness, desire, and courage to heal. Because if you don't want to heal, nothing's going to happen. And then to identify the issue blocking you. And then bring feeling consciousness, which is this little blue spark here, to it, because what you feel, you can heal. Okay, so, and expand this feeling consciousness into whatever program's running. And if you could feel all of a program 100%, it would dissolve, because all the soul wants to feel is to go from a journey of feeling the karmic negative expression of a program and transmuting it into the positive expression. Yeah. Good. Then that program will dissolve. And this is the repeating process that's required to awaken. But the ego's onto us. It knows we're going to, it knows this can happen. So what it does, it's clever, is it numbs out feeling something. Numbs out the program, the issue. What you can't feel, you can't heal. Okay? And we've learned to control our emotions in the West with our prefrontal cortex. You can tell someone's doing that because they say, I think I feel this, rather than just feeling it. Okay? Because the mind's got very powerful in the West. So what we're trying to do is get to this. We bring feeling consciousness and we dissolve with love, grace, and ease this defense mechanism here. We expand ourselves into it. As spirit moves into feeling a program, grace descends. Grace is like an iridescent silver violet energy that unlocks all our programs. And it lets go, helps us let go, and the program dissolves. So this diagram here is the most important one I'm going to show you guys. Most of the time, what we're doing is that we are following the path of suffering. Sound familiar? Path of suffering and struggle, a dotted line. Our little ego here thinks it knows everything, it thinks it knows what's going on, because ultimately it's scared of dying its own death if it connects to God. Because its job is to keep us separate from God. So we can have the sense of separation, so we can see if we can awaken and reconnect to God. But as we awaken and expand consciousness, which is what we were talking about earlier with Judith, we see the bigger picture of what's going on. And so the idea is to move from the path of suffering, which is where most of humanity is, and pretty much always stays there, moving, in this case with divine healing, to the solid line here, which is following the spiritual signature. So you probably ask, well, what is that? In each moment in life, is one right action if you follow the path of spirit, opens your heart the most. Okay, and if you follow that path, one step at a time, what happens is your life opens and flows when you surrender to spirit. So it's not about figuring out how to make life work, it's about letting go the mind and following what opens your heart the most. Because the soul will use the heart opening as a means of telling you what is the next optimal step. And if you start to converge on it like this, when you become aware of it, it takes a lot of practice. I first did this, my mind thought, oh, I know better than my soul. Why would I want to do that for? But now I realize, why wouldn't I do that? Because there's nothing else to do but follow the path of spirit. And you converge. As you clear the ego onion, you converge. If you're in the flow in the moment, life turns up for you. That's how you create the flow in life. Okay, it doesn't come from forcing it with the mind. It comes from following spirit. Because the plan for our lives has already been worked out by the soul. You guys don't have to actually figure it out. You just got to tap into the divine plan that's already there for you, because you have what's called a visionary template, in the fifth dimension. And this is you, little you in your earth suit in the third dimension. I'm going to scratch your head trying to figure this out. But if you're clear enough of the ego construct and open to this higher consciousness, this visionary template will download into you and literally tell you what's needed. But it's your choice, with where free will choice down here, what you actually do with that. You don't have to follow that at all, but if you do follow it, you'll get into the flow. If you don't follow it, it'll just be this more misery, basically. Okay? So it's about the ego surrendering to higher consciousness. So everything you need to know is already in you at a higher level. And if you start following this and converging, then life will start opening and flowing for you. Because life is meant to work. Even though ego says it's not going to, but it's meant to work if we just get out of our own way. And so this is the goal in life, is to surrender and start to flow with the signature. Then the flow will come in terms of your alignment with your true purpose. Most humans on earth are not aligned with their true purpose. They don't even know what it is. They don't align with it because they're designed to go to sleep. Okay, but as you awaken, you become more clear with it. That's why we have the soul contract reading work, to find out what that is. And as you clear your karmic patterns, you start to converge. So working on yourself emotionally is the most important thing you can do. Get into the flow. It's not about trying to force it to happen, because it won't. So it takes a while, this journey. There are no quick fixes here, but there are quicker ways of doing things. Okay? If you've got any questions, guys, just put your electronic hands up at any time. So I'm just giving you a bit of background of the divine healing, then we're going to just go and do it. Okay, so we're all born with karma. This creates emotional blockages, and the one we're talking about here is abandonment. And so this sits in our energy system, in our energy bodies, in our physical body, and it basically blocks us. It steals our life force, these programs, because our life force is spent numbing out from these patterns and holding them in place. So there's low energy, more limitation in your life. As we heal ourselves, in this case with divine healing, which is what this one is all about, okay? What happens is that we start to dissolve these blockages, and then we free up our life force. That results in more freedom in our life. Okay, and then more flow will come because there's more of us available to the universe. Okay, so our job here is to become conscious of what these blockages are and clear them at low. Okay, and then we can move forward. So let's have a little direct experience of this, okay? I haven't got the right cursor here. All right. So what I want you guys to do is close your eyes. I'm going to stop sharing the screen here for now. Uses a lot of bandwidth there. And we're going to start to manifest how to be in the flow. All right. What I want you to do is forget about where you are now. Okay. All right, forget about that. I want you to visualize and feel in your heart, however it works for you, what it would be like to be in the flow. So we're going to create the future, you. I'm sure you've all thought about that. What would that be like? Okay. and visualize yourself in that flow. It could be, you're in a better state financially, or you're manifesting the things that and things in your life you desire. It could be relationships, it could be your business, it could be being free of a very difficult family situation or relationship situation. Okay, whatever that is for you, I want you to feel it. Okay, and visualize it in your heart, because the mind doesn't know the difference between the real thing happening and you visualizing it. It's exactly the same process. Okay, and you're going to so you're going to fill your system to some degree here by doing this. And this is how we create our reality. This is how we create a future reality, what we desire. What we're going to do next is that we're going to clear some of the barriers to that happening. Because as you focus and you visualize and feel what it would be like to be in that flow, okay, the ego is going to go, oh no, can't have that, Lisa, can't have that, Judith, can't have that, Sakana, because it's designed to keep you blocked. Okay. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to trigger these programs to come up that are blocking your flow. Then we're going to go and clear them. So you're not focusing on looking in your navel, all things aren't working. You're focusing on what it will be like as if it's already done. What we're doing then is we're starving the ego of your life force energy, which is creating the blockages. We're starving the blockages and refocusing our precious energy on what we want to create. Okay? We just breathe in and feel as if that reality is there. Feel how you're reacting to it. You might be feeling grateful. You might be feeling happy, joyful, relieved. You might even cry. Whatever reaction you have, just be with that feeling, because the emotional energy is what creates the future. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear some of the energy interference, that little red interference line on the bottom of the astral plane you saw earlier. I'm going to clear that. We're going to start to cut a pathway to higher consciousness for you. And the first thing we're going to clear are things called earthbound souls. These are beings who have been trapped on the earth plane, who are connected to you, have a resonance because they have common programs with you when they're in a body, and they're pulling on your energy. We're going to clear a bunch of those now. So keeping your eyes closed is really important here. And just be aware if you're feeling things leaving your field, your body, or they could be on your body and letting go, because we're going to take them home now. I'll be doing this quietly. Okay, so I'm going to start clearing them now. Feel the shift as they're taking up a tunnel of light to the astral plane. Some of them have been with you for a very long time. That's the first layer of interference for clearing. The next layer I call extraterrestrial presences. These beings are observing us to understand how emotions work. It's nothing to be worried about, but they also, from their very presence, can affect your reality. So I'm going to clear them out now as well. It will shift as they leave as well, being removed. Next, we're going to release discarnates, entities, and attachments. Basically, everyone else on the lower astral plane is connected to you in some way, just blocking you. And they're often holding your programs in place because they want you to basically suffer and feel the negative expression of them, because they're feeding off the negative energy you have around it. So I'm going to clear these guys now. There's a whole bunch of them. Feel the energy shift in these guys as they leave. So we're starting to open a pathway through the astral plane. Okay. So now, staying focused on being in the flow state in its complete form. We don't worry about how to get there. By focusing on what we want to create, the universe says, okay, Lisa, Sakana, the rest of you guys, you want to create a certain state of being. The universe does its very best to create what you desire, because remember, you are the spark of the divine. You're actually God, you just forgot. So you're in command here, which may feel a little strange for some of you, but you're actually in charge. Yeah, you just forgot about it. So staying focused on being in the flow, become aware of any feelings or emotions that come up as you focus on being in the flow, that are coming out of the ego. All right? I'm aware of those. We're going to clear these low frequency programs. You're keeping your eyes closed. I want you to become aware, breathing into them. Remember a little spark of a little, remember what we're actually doing here is that we're bringing feeling consciousness to the programs which are blocking you, which may feel a bit alien to do that because our ego goes the other way. It doesn't want to feel the pain. That's the key to this whole thing. All right. Just become aware of how this program operates in your life. Be very honest with yourself. It's important to breathe through your mouth, not your nose, because you breathe through the nose. It's the ego trying to stop you feeling the program. Breathing through the mouth helps you feel the program in the body. Okay. I'll do this with you as well. Aware whatever feelings or emotions are connected. You may even get a statement in your mind of what it is. Where do they sit in your body? To bring more consciousness to it. You might tear up. You might feel quite emotional. Become aware of when this program started. It might be in this life. It might have been when you were 2 years old or 18 months old. You may be aware of it. You may not. It might be a past life you become aware of, or past lives. Let yourself open to all aspects of this feeling. Are you attached to it? Attachment from the ego is what holds the program in place. Do you feel bad for having it? Do you judge yourself for having it? Like saying, my ego saying, oh, you should know better than that. You've done so much work. You should be okay now. You shouldn't have this thing. It's so basic. The more you can open to it, the more you can integrate and heal. And breathe through your mouth. Now we're going to use Saint Germain to help us here. So we invite this ascended master to help us here. So what I want you to do is switch your microphones on so we can reinforce each other as we say this command code. So basically we, as the spark of the divine, as the spark of God, okay, we are commanding the divine to change this program because we've brought consciousness to it. Okay. All right, so repeat after me. We'll say this in bite-sized chunks. You got to say this as if you really mean it, not just the meaningless words. You are the divine commanding something to happen. You're creating. This is the creating. Repeat after me. We command Saint Germain.
We command Saint
Germain
Germain
To pour the purple flame
for the purple flame
through the aura and subtle bodies.
through the aura and subtle bodies
all the
To
bodies.
to burn away all low frequency energies
and
To burn away all low frequency energies
that we have discovered,
that
that we have discovered,
so that higher level vibrations
high
high level vibrations
can be accessed, accepted, and encoded.
Can be accepted,
coded.
Okay, a little pause there to allow Saint Germain to do his business. There.
Saint Germain, higher self.
No, not yet, not yet. Just pause there. Just wait. You've got to let this happen first. You don't want in divine healing. We have to give time for each part of the command code to work. Now we say that Saint Germain and higher self.
Saint Germain and higher self.
Please burn out in one go.
Please
Please
burn out
burn out in one go.
100% the core issues through all levels and dimensions in the little pause.
100%
100% the core issues
levels and dimensions.
Just pause there. And that's going to be busy energetically. Let it happen. We can let one layer clear at a time. 100% the original cause.
100% the original cause
Through all levels and dimensions.
through all levels
and dimensions.
A little pause there. 100% the source of its power through all levels and dimensions.
100%
all levels and dimensions.
100% all energy attached through all levels and dimensions.
100% all energy attached to all levels and dimensions.
Pause there. 100% all of its effects through all levels and dimensions.
100%
100% all of its effects through all levels and dimensions.
Pause there. And we say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So when we express gratitude like that, it's very powerful.
Thank
What
you.
it's-
Thank you.
What it's doing is it's opening up a channel from our heart all the way back to source. It bypasses all the blockages on the way. This means source can give us the flow. So expressing genuine gratitude is very, very powerful. Okay, very, very powerful process. So we'll let that chart integrate. So that layer, you may notice things feel a little clearer, a little brighter, because you brought consciousness to that whatever program was blocking your flow of your manifestation. Okay, and now we're going to go to the next thing. So a lot of what we process down here is from past lives. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to clear any past life issues blocking the flow. So I want you to keep your eyes closed and Focus your intention on any past life issues blocking the manifestation of this flow. You may become aware in your consciousness of little tendrils, lines of light going back into the time-space continuum behind you to the past lives which have been blocking that flow of that manifestation that's dear to your heart. By bringing consciousness to it, we're then going to clear those past lives. So those past life files have opened in new fields. I'm going to clear them now. So we're going to use we're using a past life death chart from Divine Healing Level 1, but we're going to change it to clearing traumatic lifetimes rather than traumatic deaths. Okay, so staying conscious of those programs, those past lives, and being conscious of the actual reality you're trying to create. Repeat after me. Higher self.
Higher self.
Please clear, heal, and integrate
Please
Clear, integrate
integrate
all these files and memories,
all these
including all cellular memories,
including all cellular
cellular memories,
the DNA and the subatomic levels.
the
the DNA and the
atomic level.
subatomic levels.
I am now ready to heal
I am now
I am ready to heal
all traumatic lifetimes,
all
all
traumatic
traumatic lifetimes,
blocking my flow
blocking flow
at all levels and dimensions,
at all
levels and dimensions,
all time frames,
all time frames,
realities,
realities,
and universes.
and universes.
A little pause there, let that happen. You always pause a little longer than you think you need to in Divine and make sure it's clean. The previous command code before we do the next one. I command
and
that any soul fragments
any soul fragments
held with these memories
Held
with these memories
are now returned to me,
are now returned to me,
return to me.
fully whole and intact as appropriate.
very
whole and intact as appropriate.
I welcome these soul fragments back.
I
I
welcome
welcome these soul fragments back.
And welcome this fragments back.
We pause there. Let that happen. The sensitive parts of us break off and head to different dimensions and other areas for protection. That's why sometimes we feel we're not all here. So that's the reason why. I command that the whole holographic matrix
that the whole
And the whole holographic matrix
be repaired
be
Be
through all layers and levels
through
all
all
layers
and levels
and brought into full alignment,
and brought into
and
full
brought into full alignment,
integration and balance
integration and balance
to allow for wholeness to emerge.
to
to
allow
allow
for
wholeness to
wholeness to
emerge.
emerge.
I'll pause there, let that integrate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Embrace that shift, let that energy move. Yeah, so you cleared those past life files, so you may feel a little more clearer and more present in the moment. Not being pulled on by these energies. Done some deep clearing then. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to we need to integrate that. Okay. So when we dismantle the ego like we are now, we have to do it gently, because if we take off too much too soon, it can destabilize us. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to infuse energetic nutrition. So you guys can open your eyes now, look at the screen. All right. So we do deep clearing charts and divine healing, and then we do integration. So we go through a sustainable process of dismantling the ego with love, but keeping it together because we've got to function in our lives, run families and jobs and businesses. So we're going to infuse energetic nutrition. So in this nutrition chart, this is chart number 14 out of 26 charts in Divine Healing 1. The key aspect of this is that all physical things have their origins in spirit. And so we can ask spirit to download the frequency of a nutritional element without having to have the physical nutrition, because that's actually just a carrier for the physical, for a frequency. And then we're going to command this to be encoded. So there's one frequency you need, each of you here. So there are 4 types of nutrition, level 1. There's amino acids here. We have amino acids, essential fatty acids. And then lower down the page, we have minerals and vitamins. And they're labeled A, B, C, and D. Okay, but for the sake of simplicity, what we do is that we think of them as the numbers 1 to 4, okay? So A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4. So I want you to close your eyes, and we're going to use your higher self, which I aligned you to before you started today, to align you to the higher self so you can listen to the higher self, because remember I told you earlier on that it knows exactly what you need in divine healing and in life. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to pick a number 1 to 4 in a minute. Whatever number drops in your mind is the truth. Write that down, and that'll be the right nutrition for you. Okay, so everyone pick a number 1 to 4 and write it down. The first number that comes to you, not the second one, but the first one. And note down what it is. So 1 is an amino acid. Today, 2 is essential fatty acid. 3 is a mineral. 4 is a vitamin. Okay. All right. Your higher self knows exactly what you need. Okay. So this is relying on higher consciousness to guide you. Those of you who got 1 or A amino acids, close your eyes again because we're going to pick an amino acid out of all this list of 26 here. So you got 1. Pick a number 1 to 26 and write that down. Say I got 7 and write down what it is. I got glutamic acid. So you don't even need to be able to pronounce it, let alone know what it does. Just write it down. That's what I got anyway. And that's your mineral. Which amino acid you're going to use. Okay. Those of you got 2 or B, which is essential fatty acids, close your eyes and pick a number 1 to 20. That's your essential fatty acids. So if I got 17, it'll be stearidonic acid. I'll write stearidonic acid down. That's the frequency I would need. You only need 1 of them though. I'm just demonstrating on each one. Those of you got 3 or C or minerals, I want you to pick a number 1 to 22. Say I got 5, I'd write down gold, which is the frequency. It's a mineral. That was 3. If you got 4, you're up to vitamins, and there are 27 of them there. So pick a number 1 to 27. If you got 4, write that down. Could be, if you got 13, it'd be vitamin B17. Okay. It's warm here in England. Yeah. What's happened is that because you've set your intention, for example, it's going to be vitamin B17, it's gone into what's called the divine healing stack, which is an energy structure, which remembers everything that you select. So my vitamin B17 has gone into the stack. I don't even have to remember that. As long as you've written it down so you basically know where you're going, it'll work. So we go to the top, and we're going to do this command code together now. So microphone's on. We're going to do this command code here, and we're going to run this command code, and whatever is in your divine healing stack is going to infuse in you. It's going to infuse from above down your pranic tube, and it's going to infuse down to the center core through the pranic tube, and it's going to go radially in all directions to integrate what we just did with the past life clearing and the main low frequency program clearing. So everyone with me now. Higher self.
Higher self.
Please encode this nutrient
Please
Please
encode
encode these nutrients
and the perfect balance
in the
perfect
balance
that it is required
that is
that
required
and clear and align
and
including
all pathways
all
all
paths
all
pathways
pathways
for maximum assimilation,
maximum assimilation,
absorption,
absorption
and utilization.
and
and
utilization.
utilization.
So close your eyes and let it come in. You feel this wave of energy coming in. And you feel yourself start to integrate all of the previous two charts. You may feel a little more grounded. I'm feeling a bit more grounded from that. Okay. Things look a little brighter. I'm feeling a little heavier now. Okay. Okay. So that's a little taste of divine healing, guys. All right. So let's just see how you're doing. Little check-in. So I'm also checking to see what was your experience of that? Just put your hand up electronically or wave at me. You guys in the Tenny room, you can just put it in the chat if you want. Who wants to go? Lisa, how are you feeling?
Good.
What
Can
happened
you-
there? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I did a lot of yawning, and usually that indicates that I'm clearing. So
That's right. That's true. Yeah.
yeah, I've never heard people say breathe through your mouth, though. I've always been told to breathe through the nostrils, so that was different.
You might feel more that way. You see, that's the whole point of it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I felt stuff in the solar plexus start to rise up, and I think it cleared out through the top of the head, and I'm not quite sure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's going to find an exit pathway.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. I had a little trouble hearing all of your words. It's not real clear on this end.
Okay.
But I assume that my higher self knew what the intention was, so that's okay.
Stephen, is that a little clearer like this?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. The microphone a bit closer.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else want to share how that was? Sakina?
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. I feel clearer. And at this time, I've been to a few of yours, but this time I could actually see the numbers. I've had a block to the visuals, so that was nice to actually be able to see and kind of hear what I was being told. But yeah, I can sense that there's some resistance that has left, so another layer has gone, so that's really good. I'm happy. And lots of yawning this time.
Yeah, yawning's good. Yawning's clearing the negative energy. So
Mm.
anyone else want to share?
Me.
Who's that?
Monica.
Monica, yeah. Okay.
I had this knowingness that it was working from the beginning to the end. And this knowingness that I have been receiving what I needed. I was like feeling the energy on my plexus and my sacral, and I feel like this empowerment and joy on my heart. And also I was able to receive the numbers on my third chakra very clearly, but in the middle, I was saying like, I was like speaking with my higher self at the same time. And I just say like, you know what, I'm open to receive, and I trust completely without no doubt that I'm not gonna, I'm gonna receive what I needed right now completely in that knowing it. So thank you, Nicolas.
Okay, good. All right. Judith, do you want to
Yeah,
share?
I'll share. I was still processing, so thank you everyone for sharing. I truly felt, I always believe as a kid I would feel the higher self, but you helped me understand that I would feel and then contract because everybody else around me um, couldn't understand me. And so then I was waiting for the abuse to happen. So I clearly felt that, ooh, coming in, contract, and was able to clear. And it helped me understand how I'm showing up in spaces too. Like, okay, contract, then, okay, higher self, okay, can't hear it. Um, so it was like that movement was so clear. Um, Down to the vitamin that I'm right now having to heal my stomach, but I'm holding everything in my stomach. And the vitamin was clearly about digestion and processing in the stomach. So thank you so much for this, Nicholas. It helped me. I feel a lot more centered now with it.
Okay, good. Anyone else want to share from the attendee room? Just switch your mic on if you want to share how that was. We'll put it in the chat. No? Okay. All right. So that was a little taste of divine healing. Okay. Any questions on that so far, guys, on the process before I go on?
I have a question. What are the layers that you're traversing? Because you start off somewhere, and what are those layers?
In which part? Can you be more specific?
Because you took us through a journey, and
I'll show
there
you.
there was layers to it. So I don't know. Um,
We started with a chart called main low frequency program. Actually, interferences. Hang on. We did this interference chart here. These are all the beings which are sitting here on the astral plane. Oops. They are sitting in this layer, the lower end of the astral plane. Basically, we cut a big hole through here so you could access higher self and access alignment to get the correct numbers. Okay? And getting more into the flow. It's the first thing we did. This is called an interference chart, this one, in divine healing. There's 26 charts in divine healing. So these are all the interference energies which you can have here. And basically, we cleared all of them using these command codes here. This is a level 1 manual. This is earthbound souls, extraterrestrial presences, entities, etc. Then we went to the main low frequency program, because if you have lots of interference, you won't get the right answers when you're asked to pick a number. So then we went to the main low frequency program chart, which is very typical to use. And this has 21 different categories and then subcategories you choose from. But what I did there is I just had you focus on what it was like to be in the flow, and then whatever program would come up at a feeling level, because it's hard to have this many people trying to pick a number here. It's very complex. So then I had you here. I guided you to actually, how does the program operate in your life? What feelings are connected? Where are they in the body? Where do they come from? Because if you know where something comes from, you can target it much more. And I had you open to the feeling. What I was doing there is we were doing this bit in divine healing. We were bringing feeling consciousness here, this chart here. Feeling consciousness is quite small initially. So as you come along and feel the program, then work your way through to feel all of it. The more you could feel, when you've reached maximum feeling, then we use the command code, okay, and that on that chart to actually clear the program. The command code is this one here. So we had Saint Germain, use the purple flame, burn away all those low frequency energy that you brought consciousness to progressively. And then we went through 5 layers of it here, clearing the core issue, original cause, the source of its power, any other energy attached and its effects. So basically we took it out at many different levels, and that's why you feel a lot clearer afterwards. Okay. So I picked charts here which you can use in a group, you see. Some of the charts have to be very dedicated to an individual. This is the past life death chart, lots of lovely ways to die, but I adapted this here to basically using this command code here to clear any past lives, which and change past traumatic deaths to traumatic lifetimes, which created the blockage and flow, because divine healing is all about intention. We basically did this command code here to clear the effect of those traumatic lifetimes, recover the soul fragments, part of you, the sensitive parts that are broken off, then repairing the holographic matrix. So the holographic matrix is you, your physical and energetic bodies, and the reality that your soul contract is creating, subjective reality that's around you that you're creating. So basically your entire life. We repaired that as a result of clearing those lifetimes. Okay? And then to integrate it, because it's quite strong doing this, we then went up to nutrition here. And basically, I taught you to number map and pick either one of 4 nutritions: amino acids, essential fatty acids, minerals and vitamins, then the subcategory in there, whichever one the number mapping said, whatever your higher self said, which is correct. Then you infuse that through the middle of you to help integrate you, you see. So the work is permanent and your ego can handle the new state of being. Does that help, Judith?
It does, thank you. Now I understand why you don't want someone to take the advanced course, because they have to go through their own healing, because I connected it to the healing process.
Yeah, if you cannot do light body integration unless you've cleared
Yeah.
enough of your ego, because your frequency is not high enough, you won't cope. The frequency of the very advanced course will blow your whole system. Emotionally, you won't make it. Which is why this has to be done first.
Yeah.
Lisa.
So how do you tell if someone, because I've been doing a lot of clearing work for past 8 years.
Yeah.
How do you tell if someone's ready or not for the advanced healing? Or is anyone ever able to skip 1, 2, and 3 and just move ahead? Or
No, you can't.
you have to start at 1 and go.
The fact that you want to skip is telling us Rika wanting to miss something. But each level of divine healing is a transmission and activation into that level of divine healing. So you get access to those frequencies, and the next one builds upon that and upon that again. So
Okay, so the transition is from the higher self?
Well, divine healing was developed by Ariel Helle, who co-founded the center with me. And she runs another business now, similar, same sort of business. Basically, it was a call that we had to the higher realms. So we need a tool to really clear our egos out, which is where it came from. And many different beings from the higher dimensions developed divine healing and channeled it through her and a couple of other very experienced kinesiologist friends of ours. So basically, it's a whole system. It's basically an initiation. So you can't go to the higher level unless you've done in the lower levels, because you've got to build it foundations to gradually go up higher and higher through it. Okay. It's very powerful. And each layer depends on the previous layer, the way it works. Okay. And usually our ego feels more advanced than it actually is. Okay. It's just normal to be human. I'm not saying yours is, Lisa, but that's normally the case. So you have to have the full transmission of each level to be able to move up. And the advanced class that Judith was talking about is not actually a healing class. It's called Lotus Surgeon Lightbody Training. It's about removing the programmed beings and structures which create the sense of being separate from God. So that's what she was referring to. It's not an advanced level of divine healing. It's an awakening, the most advanced awakening course we have. Okay.
And how long does it take to get through the level 1?
It's 4 days. It's a 4-day Zoom training.
Oh, is it 4 days I go somewhere, or is it online?
It's all online. So it's 4 days online.
But I have to be present all 4 days, or I can just do it as I want to, or
No, the way the structure of the class works is that basically, I will show you how we teach it. Let's get onto that now. So basically, we spend 4 days and we go through this entire manual, doing pretty much what we're doing now. Okay. All right. So this is level 1. There's 5 levels of this. This is about empowering yourself. Okay. This is Master Key to Ascension. Basically, we spend 4 days working as a group in a fifth dimensional bubble, safe space. And what I do is I go through all these 26 charts here. There's another one hidden down here. You did today interferences, low frequency programs, past life, well, traumatic lifetimes in this case, and nutrition. So basically, I explain the theory of each chart. I will demonstrate it. If it's a simple chart, I'll do it on the whole class. Okay. You have to be in the field live. It's not information, it's transmission. You have to be in the class live. And then if it's a complex chart, I will demonstrate on someone who will be the guinea pig. Everyone gets a turn, usually. And then you go off into Zoom breakout rooms, virtual spaces where you practice with a partner to give and receive the treatment. And our teaching team, our assistants, and me, and will come around and supervise. So you give and receive the treatments. So you practice the chart. So it's full body experiential learning. So it's demonstration, theory, demonstration, and then you give and receive the treatments. So eventually we wind our way through all these charts over 4 days. So basically it's a 4-day healing intensive. Okay. And so you get every treatment that everyone gives, you receive it. So you get really cleaned out. You come out real squeaky clean. Okay. And then you're fully activated over those 4 days into the frequencies. So then you've got a tool you can use on yourself and on others after that. And it's just a matter of practicing. So it shifts you. This is about empowering you to build upon whatever other work you've done, Lisa. Empowering you to take charge even more so, or for the first time, depending on where you are in your growth process. So it basically means you can start taking apart some of the programs, seriously take them apart here with this thing. Does that help?
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So any other questions? Anybody? Okay, I'll say a little bit more then. So basically, overall, to summarize what it is, it's basically a multi-dimensional healing system. Its purpose is to open to grace. It provides a very simple, quick, profound, and accurate set of healing tools that can be used on yourself and others to reconnect to spirit, to empower you so you can change a lot of your programs, just yourself. And that could be a big breakthrough. A lot of us can feel very disempowered by life. Stuff's been done to us, but when you realize you can change it, you start changing a few things, you realize you can change a lot of things. And reaching a state of higher consciousness. Yeah. And I mean, this came through in 2006. I taught the first class. Okay. And it can, really make your life happen. I was very stuck when I started learning this. Okay, my life's really happening now. And you can understand and transform the fundamental underlying program that creates every moment of your life, makes your dreams come true, develop and fully live your vision, and heal deeply, completely, and easily. And reconnect to your true essence and tap into your gifts and qualities. Experience more love, joy, fun, and aliveness. And create more flow. And it's nearly 20 years since I learned this, and my life's gone from being a struggling therapist with some really heavy karmic programming to having a global teaching business. And I'm about to stop doing sessions now and focus on teaching. But in the first few years of this, it really cleaned up some very fundamental programming. And I felt I was in charge for the first time, not being battered by life or more my heavy programs. So it was a miracle as far as I was concerned, because it was a tool I really needed. Okay. And so it's experiential learning through theory, demonstration, and practice with it. And we hold your hand the whole way, so you can learn how to use this and change your life as a result. Any questions on that? That's the sort of the broad top level picture of what it does. Anyone else in the attendee room want to ask any questions? Put it in the chat if you want.
I'm looking at the times that you're offering the trainings. For me, it's 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Is that all 4 days?
Every day, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get up early in North America because I can only teach till I've tested this. I can only teach till 8:30 at night UK time and be in reasonable shape. So you start at 12:30 and go to 8:30. So it's 6:30 if you're in where you are. Pacific time's 4:30. People get up because people used to fly to England for this training, but I stopped traveling to teach things and just found a time that works from the West Coast of North America out to the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and India and stuff like that. People come from Asia as well. So it's just a matter of adjusting your time clock, Lisa, going to bed early, and
Yeah.
people do it. I mean, it's half the cost of flying, which is what people used to do. So you don't have to get a combination, get a flight, and that sort of stuff. So we're trying to cover. We only do 2 of these a year, so we try and cover as much of the globe as possible because there are people from everywhere who come on the training. If you want to come, you can find out more at divinehealingtraining.com. Okay. If you want sessions, you can go free up your life at divinehealing.com. We've got people on my team who do the sessions. The overall full cost is £571 or about $660 depending on the exchange rate. But you can secure a place for £193 or $225, and that's included within this price here. Okay, so the cost of the training is only about 5.5 hours of private sessions, so it makes more sense just to learn it yourself because you can clear 80% of your issues yourself, plus you can earn a living off it as well.
Yeah.
And you can work over Zoom on it. So anyone who speaks English or whatever language you have can you can reach them, and those sessions will cover the cost of your training pretty quickly.
So it's $660 for US?
Approximately. Let me work it out. The exchange rate changes all the time. So it's actually about $780 now. Exchange rates changed. The US dollar got weaker recently. Okay. There are time payment plans. You can pay in over 3 months if you want, depending if you're using PayPal, Pay Later. So there are different options available there on the website. Just go to divinehealingtraining.com. It runs 3 to 6 of October here. That's our autumn training. So I'll show you the page on the website. So just got to find it. This is that divinehealingtraining.com takes you to this page. This goes to a lot more depth. Monica, you got a question?
I just wondering, Nicolas, it wasn't clear for me. So before to do the light body activation, I need to go first to divine healing level 1, right? And then 2, and then 3. Or I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me just finish with Lisa. It's a more complex question. Let me just finish with
Okay,
Lisa.
perfect.
So this explains much more about the training here. If you want to dig into it here, what you get from it, and there's testimonials here. And in this part here, this gives more detail on the timings of the trainings. Okay, we have packages if you want to do more than one training. Eventually, you can buy a package and you get various discounts from 8 to about 17, 8 to 19%. A lot of people want to do everything, but you'll find here, you apply now here, at the bottom of this, when you fill in all your information here, the very bottom here, you need some help financially. If you're paying this full fee here, okay, if you have PayPal checkout, okay, when you check out at the bottom here, pay later, it will take you to PayPal, and then you can go through a little credit check with PayPal. I won't actually do it here. And then it'll give you the option to pay in 3 if you pass that credit check. Okay, Lisa? So it's
Okay.
available. Okay. So Monica, so are you talking about the Lotus Surgeon Lightbody training or Lightbody integration sessions? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Lightbody. Yeah.
These sessions here, you're talking about the one-on-one sessions, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to do divine healing before that. You can do those straight away. Okay, you don't need
I can go straight.
you don't need a prerequisite. It's not a prerequisite to do the Lightbody integration session to do divine healing. You may end up having your practitioner may end up doing it if issues get triggered. So the one that you need to have done divine healing prior to that is the Lotus Surgeon Lightbody training. This is our most advanced awakening training. This is the one where you learn how to remove the programs, beings, and structures that create the sense of separation from God. This is where you need to have 4 levels of divine healing before you can take this course, because otherwise you won't finish simply because you haven't cleared enough emotional separation. So it's not an issue for you, Monica. Okay. Was this the one you were looking at, Judith?
Yes. That's what this is what I feel the spams. You asked me or Lisa? I'm sorry.
Just Judith. Was this the one you were looking at, Judith?
I don't remember. It was like level 1, level 2, and you can't take the next level and based on the ego work. Can't remember.
Yeah, was this prerequisites? This is the bit if your ego is wanting to undertake this training to prove it's superior or more worthy than everyone else. We're telling you it's more advanced. That means you're not ready. You need to do divine healing. This is the very advanced training. You have to have done a lot of work on yourself before you come to something like this. But I'll put that link in as well. Okay, so divine healing is a prerequisite before you can come on the training. Because in the past we had people who hadn't cleared enough stuff and they didn't finish to the end because your ego wasn't clear enough. It just blew out on us. So we make it quite strict now. And it works a lot better.
So I thought you said that we didn't have to have the divine healing training first before the Lotus Surgeon Lightbody, because I was guided.
No, I said before the Lightbody sessions where you receive someone work on you. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to have divine healing before that, but if you want to be a Lightbody practitioner, you need to have done 4 levels of divine healing to be clear enough to handle the frequency transmission.
Okay,
But
so
I wouldn't worry about that at this moment. This is not an issue at this stage of what you're trying to do.
okay.
Okay. So divine healing by itself, you start with level 1 and you work your way through if you're drawn to it. Okay.
Okay, and is it the same price for each level, or is it get more expensive?
No, it's same price for each level, except when you get to level 5, it goes up a bit because it's in person in France. Okay.
In person, I have to go to France?
Yeah, that's where Almira teaches level 5. I just teach the first 2 levels.
Oh.
I think she does it online sometimes as well, but I'd just start with level 1 and see how you find it. I wouldn't worry about the rest at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because what I was guided to do was the light body
Training.
activation training.
Okay. Well, in that case, then you and I need to have a chat about that. See, so it's clear what's involved.
Okay.
We need a meet, and I need to explain to you what's going on there. I need to see where you are. But
Okay.
you would still need the first 4 levels of divine healing to actually be able to get a place on the training, or to be considered for a place, because it's by invitation. Okay, that training.
Okay.
Okay. So I can contact you about that if you want. Or actually, if you just fill in the form here, I think the best thing for that, Lisa, is on this page here, apply to join this training. So just fill in this form, which asks you a lot of questions. Okay. Fill this
Okay.
form in, and then once I've got that, Antonia, our training coordinator, will contact you and set up a time for you and I to have a talk.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. But yeah, you do need to have 4 levels of divine healing. That takes a couple of years, at least 2 years or more to be able to do that if you're interested in that.
Okay.
Okay. If you're drawn by the soul, then we need to talk. See, I explain to you what's actually involved there. Okay.
Okay. All right. Great. Thanks.
The next one will start in November 2026. Okay. Runs about 18 months.
Okay.
All right. All right. Any other questions? Were you waving your hand, Monica, a little bit? You're a bit blurry there. No? Yes?
Yes. All good. Thank you, Nicolas.
You're all good. Any other final questions before we finish, ladies?
I do. You said something, Nicholas, and I want to like tap into it. You said
What
when
did I
we
say?
tried it, it blew up on us. And it really hit my heart, and I appreciate you saying that because 10 years of doing nonprofit work, it just kept blowing up on my face. So can you describe that, how it blew up when people are not ready?
If someone's not ready for a particular frequency, okay, what happens is the ego cannot handle the energy. So it will go into a massive process, it'll act out, it'll make a nuisance of itself. Okay? Because the pressure of the higher consciousness coming is too great, because Lightbody brings in 5th dimensional Christ consciousness unity energy. So you have pure unity coming into a human body, which is very polarized, lots of positive and negative stuff going on. It can't handle it unless you've cleared enough of that, which is why we have divine healing. Okay. And that's why we have 4 levels, because sometimes people with 4 levels don't make it either. But we make sure they do now. Okay, because we didn't understand how it worked when we first started doing this, but we do now. So that's why 4 levels of divine healing is compulsory. In order, because anything in the ego which it's trying to hide cannot hide from this work. Because when you pour pure source energy into it, it's just going to blow it out. So you have to be really clean before you can come on the training. Okay. But if you're drawn to it, there's a reason for that. So you get your divine healing done as soon as you can. If you want to come.
Okay.
Because there's a limited number of places on the training. I already have a lot of more people than places applying for 2026 training already. But it's basically, we have to talk to everybody, see where they are, see how you are just prior to the training, especially as well, when you talk now about this sort of thing, if you're interested. And to assess exactly where you are in your progression. Because we're not going to let you on the training unless we think you can finish. There's no point you starting either, unless you're going to make it to the end. It's a waste of time and energy and money.
Yeah.
And you take up a place that someone else who could finish it could run. Okay. So we want to make sure you get through. So we only let you start if we think you can make it. Okay. All right. Does that help?
Oh, it just cleared a lot out because I was having so much shame of why that this keep blowing up, but it makes sense. You have to go through that trial and error to understand it. And thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So you have to be very focused, dedicated, and prepared to do anything to grow and dismantle anything in your ego. Then there's a good chance you'll make it then. It's a willingness to grow, which is key for that training.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've done this for 20 odd years and learned the hard way what doesn't work. So that's why the web page is written the way it is. So, all right. Any other questions, people? All right. Okay. So recording should go out probably next week at this rate. If you listen to it again, you get the same transmission. You want to declare stuff, and you'll go deeper into it. Okay. So thanks everybody for participating and engaging. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And we'll see you. Maybe see some of you on one of the trainings. Okay. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.